Welcome back and now tune into the other side of sports. I'm your host in the building. It's Laws. It's me, my man Aaron. We in the building rocking out. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Before we get into all of that stuff, playoffs and Pat Mahomes getting more bread. Before we get into all that stuff, we do have a question of the day. Uh, Side note, we got an offer coming soon. If you want to get on the OSS advertisement train, you want to get on board now at the inception of it. For a long time, I was just like, we're not really doing ads. We want to keep our junk ad free, and the time has come. So if you're trying to get your ad placed on here, we mention your product. If you're a barber, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to get clientele and or you're a small business and you're trying to bring some revenue into your place, holler at me. I'll be sending out more details around that shortly for you guys to be able to hop on and you can get with the program. On to our question of the day. Question of the day comes in. It's these older folks now. We old now, so the questions get more mature, Aaron. Here we go. It says, I'm 39 and have been divorced from my ex-wife for 7 years. We were together for 8 before that and married for 4. We have 2 children, 14 and 12, and we co-parent and each get our own week with the children. I love my wife deeply, but the sad truth is she couldn't stay away from the male attention. She is a very beautiful woman, has been her whole life. Men would always look when she walked by, and I used to think how lucky I was that she was mine, till I found out she was entertaining these men as well. I had found text in the phone multiple times. I had let go of it because it was over the phone. Then I found out she allowed them to take her on dates and out the bar secretly after her work shift ended. She promised it was never sexual. I never had any proof it was, but who knows? She said she just liked the compliments and the idea of how many guys like to pay attention to her. That it gave her some weird high. That wasn't my cup of tea, so I ended the marriage. She spent the last year in therapy in which she's been diagnosed with histrionic personality disorder and OCD. She claims she is doing really well. And at our last drop off with the kids, she told me that she had told her therapist that she'd like to reconsider her marriage, reconcile her marriage a year ago. And she hasn't been on any dates uh, and tried to be flirtatious. She said her goal was to fix us, that she wanted to be a family again if I was willing to try. Knowing she has a diagnosis for why she wants the attention so badly and her activity getting help to contain these behaviors opens my mind up greatly if the possibility of a happy marriage is there. But I'm also not fully sure I can trust her. I want nothing more than to have my family back, but I don't want to repeat what happened the first time. What should I do? Hold on, Aaron. I got what histrionic personality disorder. You know what that is? I need to hit up Chat GPT. See what them bama say the Joan is, dog. I am. You know what that is?
Nah, I never heard of it causing somebody to want to get popped off by other dudes when they married. I can't imagine that's the diagnosis.
No, so you saying it's already stamped. She got hit off chasing that attention.
I mean, that's usually what tends to come with it.
Yeah, because Batman ain't buying drinks and giving all that attention not to cash out. Histrionic personality disorder, HPD, is a type of personality disorder characterized by an intense and constant need for attention and validation from others.
I might know some
People with
people got
H
that drink.
people facts. People with HPD often engage in dramatic or attention-seeking behavior to attract attention, such as dressing in flamboyant or provocative ways, being overly flirtatious, or exaggerating their emotions. Some common traits of HPD include dramatic or exaggerated expressions of emotions, a tendency to be easily influenced by others, a preoccupation with physical appearance and attractiveness, a tendency to use seduction or charm to gain attention, a lack of genuine empathy for no. We know some people like this.
Facts. This also sounds like
No,
he need to stay divorced.
no, this you don't think he need to give her another chance, though?
Not with the stuff you was reading off. It sounds like that.
She see she going to therapy, son. She getting work done. She getting help.
I know a lot of people in therapy. They're still just as nutty as the day they started.
Dog, this is what you gotta do, dog. First, you gotta see what her Instagram looking like, dog, because the Instagram will it'll tell you at least if she's reformed to some degree.
Is there medication for the joint? Like to me, it
Yeah,
just
I don't
seemed like
even know what. Yeah, what do you do? How do you get somebody off of being attention seeking?
because I never
That's because
heard about
that's
a
probably.
cure for a personality disorder. You gonna
I
keep
mean, I'm
somebody
sure.
meditated and sedated for them to be,
Nah, nah.
you know what I mean? So it's like,
I think there's probably ways to like make it not as prevalent, or ways to combat it. Because most stuff is trigger based. Like it's a trigger that makes you want to like have this desire to do X, Y, Z or whatever
like having
behavior.
the internet. What's the how
Dog,
you gonna beat
that's
the
a
trigger of having the internet? you,
dog. I'm gonna tell you right
you gonna
now,
go back
dog.
in time?
Hey, you can't beat the internet in no way, shape, or form, dog.
No,
That
she
joint
not.
is undefeated. You gotta just not be. Dog, and that's the thing. If you're not even using the internet, Bama's look at you crazy, like, dog, you human? Like, it's the dog, yeah, bro. I just think, you know what? I mean, I get the sentiment to want your family back, right? I get that. It makes sense to me. I think that, with this whole circumstances with why you ended the marriage, right? You have to be aware that things like that just don't, it's not a light switch. You can't just turn it off.
Right.
So there probably going to be still some workings through that. And I'm just telling you, like anything, first of all, people need to know this. I already started a channel about to give relationship advice out here. Uh and we here, dog. We here. People need to know that marriage is already hard. It's inherently hard. It's like when somebody say, oh, I'm a doctor. Like to go through that process of being a doctor, it's inherently hard. To be in a marriage and have some personality disorders and some major things that you have to navigate, it's just like playing basketball with Timberland boots, dog. It's just very, very difficult, bro. You can't move the same, you can't cut the same, you can't jump the same. So just know you trying to reconcile, you might want to take the long road, bro, and just slow walk it. Cause what you don't want to do is get back in a marriage trying to like, do what you think is right and find yourself still having to navigate with the journey of her recovery from this situation, dog. Cause it just doesn't stop overnight, bro. So just be prepared for that. People need to know that Bama's be getting in relationships and be like, oh yeah, we both got stuff. It's like, yeah, dog. But when that's combined with a marriage, it's just not good. It's just not good. So yeah, man. Anything else you want to add, Aaron?
Just that if you know this going in and you so pressed to have your family back, you can't use the same excuse to back out if stuff don't end up working out. You got to be committed to working through the joint. If
Ah,
she's not 100% healed or whatever percentage she is on, like you said, the journey. So Bama just thirsty. He don't want to be alone. He probably ain't got no other youngins. That's really the reason he wanted his family back. Bama lonely. But if you decide to go back, it's not like a use that drink like a ultimatum or something like, oh, if you don't do this, I'm gonna leave again, leave again. It's just to me,
yeah.
you gotta be all the way back in.
You out of excuses. That's a fact. I'm glad you said that because yeah, you can't be in the jump like I knew you was gonna be like
Right.
this. You already texting Sam and Bob at your job already. We just got over this. We've been going to counseling. What? You need, dog. It's just gonna be a headache, bro. You know what I'm saying? If she really reformed, then it'll be evident in her actions. It'll be evident. You'll see it. It'll be noticeable. Like certain things, where she just had to take a picture. She's like, "Oh, get me in a picture." You know what I'm saying? And then she just not.
Dog, this what I learned from you and Drawfin. It's not about being perfect, but you remove yourself from situations that'll have you ending up in trouble or will put you in a situation where you could get yourself into trouble or trouble could find you. You know what I mean? So y'all Bama just stay out the way. So sometimes that might mean what's more important, staying married or having Instagram, or you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
those are the tough decisions you gotta make, dog. Tough decisions you gotta make. Cause you get too close to quicksand, that jump going pull you in.
like,
It's
yeah, we about
going
to go
for
to such and such and such. You be like, nah, I'm good. I'm in the house tonight. You know what I mean? It's just just those kind of decisions. Everybody's not capable of making those decisions. Of you know it would be a decent time, but just if it's a 2% chance that it could be trouble, Bama's just like, nah, I'm in the house,
yeah.
or I'm
And
not gonna do this.
another thing too, you know who had people who have your well-being in mind, dog. Like I have a good friend group where they not gonna let me get into something that I'm not supposed to. They gonna try to be like, hey, chill, chill. We're gonna take you home. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
this some Bammers be like egging it on, be wanting to
right.
see the Bama get hemmed up and
How far
ruin
is it
their
gonna
family.
go?
Like, yeah, yeah, how far is it gonna go? And then see, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of factors. So I mean, definitely, if you're gonna go back with her, dog, maybe definitely gonna have to surround yourself with a good support system. You
Bet the
know,
thoughts around her. It's
yeah,
a lot.
dog. Yeah, it could be a tough situation. Um, dog, on to some sports. I had tags up here. I don't know what happened to my tags. Pat Mahomes already. They talking about a new contract for my man. He just signed a 10-year jump 2 years ago, right?
Andy like eighth on the list by now. Like a bunch of Bama's then leapfrogged him.
He 45 million per.
And
I
what
don't know.
place is that on the list?
It's
I
like
know Aaron
7.
Rodgers was ahead of him. I know
Yeah, he like 7, but it's a,
Russell
it's
Wilson.
decimal. It's decimals. It ain't
It doesn't
like,
matter. This is the kind of thing that's so far removed from what a Washington team would do. It's about saying, hey, you the best quarterback in the league, and I know we don't have to re up your deal. We got you on 10
mhm,
years, but we're going to. It's those kind of gestures that make a difference as far as culture and winning and making players feel taken care of and making free agents want to come to your team because they know you take care of your guys.
mhm. Yeah, it is different. I'm trying to figure out who's Pat Mahomes people, dog, to even make this come to fruition. If this was Lamar Jackson, would this be happening?
Of course not. But
Nah,
also, Lamar don't have no Super Bowl trophies.
that's a fact. That's a fact. The Batman Mahomes is real, dog. I
He's
can't
the
even
best to
hold
ever
you.
touch a football.
He the
But I
best
don't
to
like
ever
a lot of
touch.
the antics that go on with the Bama family that make me think he might be a MAGA
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. But truth be told, he the best Bama to ever touch a football.
Yeah. At the quarterback position, dog. Yeah,
And
that's
it's
a
not even
fact.
close.
Yeah. He's special. So I get it. Making the moves to keep your man happy, you gotta do it, dog. What's it gonna cost you? At the end of the day, you already gave Alabama a mint truck. So what's another million or two or three just to make it right for him? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just have him at the top. Because
Yeah,
it
and
ain't gonna take much to restructure it just to get him to back to the top for the annual per year.
they give up some guys, you know what I mean, that would make the job easier to be able to take care of him because Tyreek Hill's out of there, and you got a
Hmm.
couple of other guys. I think Chris Jones might be on his way out of there soon because it's
Hmm.
just there's not enough money to go around at a certain point. But
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, props to you, bro, and your team getting it done. Uh dog. Washington in trouble, dog. Tampering with luck. Ron Rivera talking about they called every team to see if their quarterback was available, including Andrew Luck, who was retired, and the Colts retain rights to. Do you think there's any backlash? Anything? Can they blame this on Dan? This wasn't
right,
Dan.
right, they typically would. So
You
so
know they were.
two things. I probably feel the opposite
Uh
of
huh.
everybody else that I've heard as it relates to this. Well, two pieces. First part is this is more like piling on to the fire Ron Rivera as soon as you get your first chance. Like calling Andrew Luck, you don't know the rules of tampering. You don't like. I hope they dock these Bama's a draft
I
pick.
guarantee you he doesn't know the rules. I promise you, Aaron,
Guarantee,
he doesn't.
guarantee.
Guarantee. If this Bama didn't even know what the playoff situation and scenario was
True.
for his team in season, I put $1,000, dog, that he does not know the rules around tampering, and
and se-
probably just called the Bama and just was like, "Hey, you try to come back to football?"
right. And secondly, they so damn dumb. They don't know they weren't supposed to do it. They bragging about it. They bragging about it.
So you know they
Now,
did it. It ain't even a question if they did it.
now that's my anti-Ron rant.
Uh
On
huh.
on the other side of that, everybody's been like, "Oh, this is a Washington thing." That's something they should be doing. Is calling every team to figure
Mm-hmm.
out what's going on, or if they
I'm
could, if
surprised they
there's a
didn't
move to
call
be
every
made.
team this year. They should have called every team back.
Right. But like to me, that's what I would want a team
Hmm.
doing if it was my team, is kicking, every can to see if there's anything there.
Yeah.
You just got to know the rules to know you got to get permission from the Colts first if you want to call Alabama, or at least if you're gonna sneak call them, or hit them on the what's the joint that disappear, the Snapchat, the joint the youngest be on. Don't go
After
and brag
24
about
hours,
it. Yeah,
don't go to the Washington Post and be like, "Yeah, we tried to get her." They trying so hard to tell the fans that they trying to get
yeah,
better.
we
They
trying.
just
It's just not working.
we Dog, get them out of here, bro. Get them
Because
all out
everybody,
of here.
and the funny thing is, everybody was so underwhelmed, and they were, I guess, tired of getting the, I don't want to say bad or negative press, but the underwhelming press surrounding the draft. Because usually, right after draft time, it's a bunch of excitement. It's players that people can't wait to see. In this draft,
No, none of
they
it.
didn't
None
have
of it.
any of that goodwill that usually comes with that. So this is their next try to be like, hey, we're trying. It's just, you know, with Dan here, it's just we're so limited. It's almost like that kind of narrative. Like we're trying, and as soon as the culture changes, things will be different. But you won't be here to see it, Ron. This your last season
I
coaching.
don't believe it. Yeah, yeah. He done. Get him out of here. Finished. Uh Dog, what about Sam Howell? They talking like this Bama Sam Howell is the answer, bro. He's not.
Again, again, it they're never committed to anything. So the fact that they are committed to something, and then I always say the reason that this team has been trash more than Dan the past 20 something years is because they hover around mediocrity instead of just being really bad. Like, so they're never as bad as the fans like to cry and bitch and complain that they are. They've never been the Lions or
Mm-mm,
the Browns or these other teams where they win in 2 games, 3 games, picking in the top
mhm.
two or top three, 4 or 5 years in a row to get really good, to get those blue chip players to get good. And that's the problem. They pick in the middle of the draft. They're not good enough at scouting guys at that part of the draft. And so they never
15,
get significantly
16,
better.
10 through
Yeah,
10 through 17, dog. Every year.
so I think this is one of those years where you're going to he's either going to be really good or it's going to blow up in everybody's face and you're going to be bad. And I think that's how you get better in the NFL.
I just don't know that he could be really good though, Aaron.
Then you draft high and you get Caleb Williams or you get somebody really good. But it's better than hovering around 8-8, 7-9, 9-7.
That's exactly what they gonna be.
If he's really bad, you think they're going to be 9-7?
Yes. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because the enemy is gonna be able to extract the most out of him, right? And then I think the defense will probably be better or should be better. I feel like
Better than top five, which is what they were last year.
I don't, I don't, I don't know if they came on late in the season, but
They
I
finished
mean,
top five as far as the numbers go.
but generally these dudes they play 500 football. Like I mean, Ron Rivera is a 500 minded football coach, so I think all things made equal, like they'll be teetering and tottering around that space. Like they'll win some games they shouldn't win, they'll lose some games that they should win, and then we'll be looking like, oh, these Bama's, and they'll be right there trying to convince us how they almost there, and we'll be staring at the playoffs again, trying to figure out what went wrong and who we need to get. But I'm telling you, it starts with the quarterback. And I'm not, I mean, I know a lot of the fan base is excited. Oh, Sam Howell, he gonna be, yeah, dog. Like, I haven't even seen enough to even feel that way. I'm on the opposite end of it, dog. You trash until you show me you not. And I don't care about a meaningless football game versus the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care what you want to try to say it meant to the Dallas Cowboys and he looked okay and all of that. Like, dog, it didn't mean that much to me. There's a lot of things that go right for backup quarterbacks in a spot start. You know what I'm saying? Because one, the team hasn't been able to see what you like to do. The offense may do have some changes and variations that the team's not prepared for. I mean, typically you probably gonna have it. It could either go really really bad for a backup quarterback or fairly decent because all of those changes that occur that the team they're playing is not expecting. I just I don't know. I'm just not very confident in this regime to make one decisions. Two, that Sam Howell will be able to lift this team to a winning record. I think he will win some games and he'll lose some games, and that'll put him right around 500. But I don't like this move though. Putting all the eggs in one basket. Don't we advocate against that, Aaron?
They do, but I just need this to be blown up. Like the Ron Rivera regime needs to end, and I think this is going to be the final straw of that regime, unless the Bama ends up being Aaron Rodgers, and then Ron get extended. Everybody looks like a genius. So, but y'all like that too. Y'all would like that. You gonna get excited if you go out there and these Bama's 3-0, and Sam Howell throwing for 285 a game and
Dog, they
two
may go
touchdowns.
3-0. They may go 3-0.
Then what would you be complaining about?
Only to lose the next three and then end the season on a bad foot with gangrene. I
And that
just
still gets Ron. Anything as long as it gets Ron fired, I'm
we
fine
with
with it.
it. Okay. All
That's a step in the right direction.
right. Dog, on to some basketball. NBA playoffs, they got good, Aaron. They
Lakers,
got good. They got good. Are the Warriors done?
they done.
3-1 to the Lakers, dog?
So
Is that it?
so let me ask you this: did you watch the game last night?
I did. Stern's orders, dog. You already know. You already
Why did
know.
what was the reason that you feel like they lost? Because at one point the Warriors were up 10.
Dog. So
What
let me say
happened
this.
to make it go another direction?
Let me say this, dog. Jordan Poole, it was to me, the turning point was was pulling what's his name out the game. Uh Gary Payton the third. And I don't know why they pulled him. I know why. But I'm just saying when you start playing politics and try to do classic, try to get my man minutes because he getting paid to check. Can't do that at this juncture. Not here. You got to win the basketball game at all costs. And I felt like it was a little bit of politics in it because maybe Steve Kerr was like, "We got this game in control, so I can just go ahead and you know what I'm saying." I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me.
So I got a different take,
Okay,
and it's probably gonna be unpopular because
okay.
in real time when I'm seeing it happening, nobody's saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
The pick using AD, whoever AD was guarding to set the screen and to force them to switch was killing the Lakers, and they were down 10.
Mm.
And then Steph keeps going for these glamour shots, trying to make IG reels, all of these like
He was going for
it's
50, but he
it's not
wasn't.
it's not enough like it's not enough sugar on the pick and roll. He got
Mm-hmm.
to go to his patented 40-foot three-pointer, just throwing these terrible ass shots up. And
His shot
because he
selection
makes
is not
enough
good.
of them, nobody says anything. Because Clay makes enough of those, nobody
Mm-hmm.
says anything. But when Poole does it, somebody has something to say. So it's just
Mm.
they.
Jordan Poole.
I feel like Steph
He's the
shot
scapegoat for this.
selection cost them the game. Steph shot selection. If they would have stuck to what was working, like you can always go over screens and get a better 3-point shots than sometimes the shots he chooses to take.
Mm-hmm.
But because he makes so many of them, people look the other way. But when you look up and Alabama finished 3 for 13 from three or 3 for whatever Steph ended up being last night, that cost you the game when you're up 10 and they had all of their momentum going their way.
They had all of the momentum. I mean, Yeah, if you look at that series where, um, you had Draymond basically did a fake dribble handoff to Steph. Steph was coming around the top, fake dribble handoff, and then Draymond Green drives to the hole, jumps up in the air. You already know, Aaron. When we used to watch basketball at the house, I used to Kirk all the
John
time
Wall.
and be like, "Do not jump to make a pass." I always Kirk, dog, because that's what you learn in Little League. Jumping to make passes is not fundamental basketball. This Bama Draymond Green jump in the air when he should have just went up with the basketball, dog. You should have just went up. Instead, he tried to kick it. Jones gets stolen. They got AD playing one-on-one defense on Steph Curry, and that was pretty good defense by
By AD.
the injury prone AD, dog. Like I was like, okay, and but you're right. Steph's shot selection just was not good, dog. It was just not good. And to me, it was an I, this is a little different take, but similar. It was an entitled shot selection.
Facts.
It's like I'm Steph Curry, so I can shoot these shots and nobody can say anything.
And,
Now I
and
do
the funny
think
thing is, I mentioned it in the group chat, and you saw the Steph fanboy try to dismiss what I said, what really happened in real time based on what they had accomplished. And that's the point. He feels like, oh, I'm Steph, I can do
yeah.
this, and nobody can say
Now,
anything.
now, now, in Steph's defense, right? Because you gotta think there's always factors that go into why people do certain things. The game before that, the Bama Jordan Poole pulls the 40-foot jumper from three. That jump clang off the rim and don't make it. So I'm sure going from that game to the next game, there was more emphasis at these critical junctures, make sure the ball is in Steph's hands. So I think to some degree, it was shot entitlement, but then to another degree, it's like I need to be the one to take these shots, not Jordan Poole. And Jordan Poole has just been cold for whatever reason. He just can't find a shot. Apparently, after the game, there was some murmurings in the locker room, and some of it is media trying to drum it up too. But also, I feel like he probably is. These games are so critical. If you the Bama bumming it up, like clearly you're gonna be the one who is casting the light of reasons why we didn't lose, we didn't win, right? So you trying to get out of that shadow as best as you can, and sometimes you go either further into the dark shadow by taking more shots. You know what I'm saying? You get real conservative. So I,
And I don't
I
even mind
just
a volume of shots as much as
Mhm,
the degree of difficulty he chooses. Like these weren't. You can't force Steph. He's the most mobile player probably on the
mhm,
court on both sides. He was getting to the cup at will. He got the handles. He can get to whatever shot he wants to get to. Plus, this nobody better than Golden State sets screens and runs plays. So,
mhm,
like to me, I get what you're saying, and yes, we want the ball in Steph's hands, not Jordan Poole or not any of these other
mhm,
guys. We've seen him hit 50 multiple times. You know what I mean? So I'm not suggesting that he isn't the quality of player, but when we're talking about legacy, and we just started having this conversation, oh, is he the best point guard of all time? Is he
mhm,
leapfrog LeBron on the GOAT chart if he gets 5 rings this like if they win another
mhm,
one this year? And we talking about the dynasty they just won it last year. Those little decisions and nuances are the differences between somebody like Jordan that end up with 6 rings versus somebody that has 3, 4,
yeah,
5, and the conversation is completely different. Like if they beat the Lakers in that game, they take home court back. It's 2-2, and they got 2 games in Golden State. The Lakers are probably done. I said that yesterday. Whoever wins this game is going to
mhm,
win the series. And they were up
yeah,
10. It's not like you got to figure out a way. Y'all had the way.
yeah.
And then to put yourself back in that situation,
It's
to me,
just
it makes the
yeah.
difference between winning another chip or booting LeBron in this round versus LeBron going on, and then the conversation stops being about, oh, is Steph a goat or is Steph the
Steph
best point
Steph
guard of all
name
time?
gets scratched off the board. Once the Lakers, because I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point. Lakers are moving on, people. I just do not see. I mean, Stern's orders is in full effect. They already rang the bell. I mean, I just don't see unless Steph Curry goes for 70 or does something that just really like brings the eyes of the universe to him. Like, I mean, all things considered, it's if you're talking about let's take it away from basketball because I always I care about basketball like 30%. The other 70% is politics, money, marketing. It's the business side of it, though. From a business standpoint, if you're looking at the marketability of both these teams, right? You got Steph Curry and the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? And they were the hot thing. But now this resurgence of the Lakers, I think has surpassed that from a marketability standpoint because first of all, nobody believed that the Lakers would be here, right?
That's not
And
true.
that
One person on the show believed the Lakers would be here.
you believe the Lakers was gonna be here?
Go back and listen to the show. Now
Earn.
go back and
I
listen
gotta
to the
go. I
show.
gotta go back. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I can't even deny that you said it because you sometimes you be a
Now I thought the
contrarian and I be
Warriors will
fighting.
win the series before the series started, but I'm talking about like when these Bama's made the trades to get Rui and all. I always thought the Lakers would
Oh
be fine.
yeah.
I
Okay.
said they would make the
Okay.
playoffs. I said they would
You
be
you
fine,
did.
and
I
I said
recall
they're a
that
better
you said it.
team than the Warriors.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I think looking at the Lakers team, if AD
Rui,
can just stay out of a suit and be on the floor, these Bama's got a roster, dog.
n-
You saw Lonnie Walker step up and
cook
play big. You saw Rui Hachimura. You saw Billy
the white
Hoyle.
boy
Yeah, that
who
Bama
was
was
playing like
cooking.
trash in the first half, got it together
Hey,
in the
and
when it
and
mattered.
yeah, and you can just see the momentum shift. Like they have confidence in themselves. They feel like they can win now. LeBron, of course, is clearly the best player in the league when he wants to be, and he still got juice in the tank. So all those things combined just spells trouble for the Warriors. I think that the Warriors have to win at least one more game,
They'll win
but
Game Five, I believe.
three games in a row, nah,
But
Bob.
you can't win 3 games in a row. You can only win one game at a time. And I
That's a
think that's
fact.
the part that, like, if any team is capable,
Mhm,
it would be the Warriors with their 3 point shooting ability.
mhm.
You can just take better 3 pointers than the ones that they choose to take based on that
Yeah,
entitlement and based on shots they've made in the past. Like, just get, you can
the
take
whole
any
first
great.
half they was getting open looks.
They were.
They was swinging the rock, screening rolls,
But
open
when you,
looks, open look.
you choose to shoot 30 footers and 25 footers when you can shoot a 22 footer, like we can pretend like it's no difference. Oh, that's Steph. They make shots. Clay makes shots. There's a difference because when they were getting them off of screens and coming off of picks, it was like layups. They going in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about to me it's about shot selection.
Yeah, that definitely matters. Shot selection definitely matters. We're gonna see. Um, Tonight you got Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. They're tied 2-2. The game winning Sunday went into OT. I thought the Celtics had it, bro. When Jason Tatum hit that bucket, I was like, oh yeah, this joint done. And then James Harden, that corner three, I hey, James Harden, say what
Bama's
you
be
want.
hating on him.
Not just be hating on him, slandering him, talk about how he lost it, he washed, all of this, he don't show up in
Bama's
the
cooking.
playoffs and all like that. The Bama was cooking. He's cooked 2 games in this series. The one without Embiid that they won and stole. This game, he I think you need this James Harden. You need an aggressive James Harden to win this series. And I mean, Boston, Jason Tatum. I, now, I saw Stern's orders at play in that Boston game because they wasn't calling any fouls for Jason Tatum, dog. The Bama went 0 for 8, and I just heard the commentator like, "Oh, they're playing really good defense." Bama's getting pushed and hit and everything. They just wasn't calling it. I don't know if that was the sports book, like, "Oh, nah, we can't let this Bama get," because all these people got Jason Tatum over 25 on their parlays. We gotta. I don't know. It just seemed a little fishy to me. But Jalen Brown, he cooks and stuff like that. But last game defensively, they just didn't show up defensively. Um, who you got tonight? Who you got winning the series?
I don't know. I thought Boston should be more dominant in this series. Um, Tatum, I thought was going to be the next one, but he
Mhm,
got a lot of beta in his blood. It seems like he's going through. I don't want to say Devin Booker, but it's like a lot of these
mhm.
guys that come up in the Kobe shadow, they kind of try to mimic Kobe in the way that everybody mimicked Jordan, and because these guys get really good at mimicking some of these guys, it's hard to tell sometimes when they don't have that that next level it factor.
That
It's just
that Jimmy
something missing.
Butler.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't have half the skill that some of these other Bama's got? Or not skill, but half of the natural ability
abilities.
as some of these other guys. But the mentality is just there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna still say Boston, but I wouldn't be shocked
Mm.
if Philly took it.
Yeah, they got Boston favored -7 at home on the
I'm taking
books.
Philly definitely on the spread.
Hmm. Yeah. Over and under is 214 and a half.
Eh, I ain't messing with that, but I'm definitely
Yeah,
taking that.
that jump. Yeah, that
Taking
that
Philly
that's
on the
that's
spread.
that's that's all right. Then you got the Phoenix Suns at the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets are favored -5 at home.
The tide have turned.
Jokic played probably one of the best games I seen ever, dog, from a
53
basketball player, dog,
and still lost.
ever, and still lost, dog. And that's only because of the other end. The two Bama's they got both went for
38.
close to 40. Yeah, they just was going ham. Uh, this is turned into a nice little series. Um, who you got, dog? It's in Denver.
I still
Denver's
got
done well at
Phoenix.
home.
I still got Phoenix. They're gonna figure a way to pull it out.
I'm going with Denver to win this jump, dog. I just think that when all things considered, it's just too much of a weight on Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to carry this team, dog. And they're going to need help. It's really 2 on 5, dog. It's really
You
two
don't
on
think
five.
Aiden gonna show up for one game and that's it?
I mean, if so, this is the thing. This is what I would tell if I was on the team and Aiden was on my team. This is what I would tell Aiden. I'd be like, hey, dog. I'm like, listen, I don't need you to score no baskets. I need you to go out this joint and get 5 blocks and 17 boards.
You started off on the wrong foot with a guy like that though. You start out with I don't need you to get no baskets. He turned tuning you out off the rip. Off the rip.
Dog, you right, dog. He that man ain't
Guys like
even
that, you
he ain't
gotta
a
approach
yeah.
him differently. You like,
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
I think you gonna get 20 tonight.
yeah.
I I think
You got that.
you gotta say if you get 5 blocks and 15 rebounds, I guarantee you gonna get 20 points. Just watch how the game come to you when you get the. That's how you gotta approach a
You
guy like that. You
you
can't
got
you can't lead with the I don't need a. He like, oh word, okay, you don't need nothing from me then.
hey dog, hey Aaron, dog. We've been hoopers a long time, dog. Hey young, you absolutely right, dog. Hey young, I take everything. Hey look, I can see you absolutely right, dog. That's the only way to get that Bama
That's
to
the
get
only
the
way.
5 blocks and 16 boards. That's the only way to get him there. Be like, hey dog, I think you about to have a big night. We're gonna feed you. You about to get 30. You about to
Yeah,
have 30,
and he'll give you
17, and
18, but the
5.
18, 15, and 5 will get you over the hump. It'll be enough to win.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
So you got to play mind games with that Bama like he your youngin' or something, and just throw him like little carrots, little Easter eggs to kind of get him. It's like somebody like him, you got to find a way to motivate him every individual game, probably
That's a
like every
fact.
practice, and it probably would get tiring as a coach,
Yeah, it get
especially
exhausting,
if you don't
dog.
have a player on
Especially
the
when you
team.
need that Bama,
Yes,
dog.
and they need him now.
Because if he give you, this is all he gotta do. If he give you 18, 10, and 3 blocks,
They win.
that's enough.
They win easily.
That's enough. 18, 10, and 3 blocks is enough, dog, to
But
get you there.
now that being said, the onus he is who he is. He's on the roster. You
Hmm.
can't change the roster at this point in the season. So
You cannot.
l- any other questions or strategies got to be put to the offseason. The fact that
Mhm.
he's on your roster and you want to get the best that you can get out of him, you have to go to him early, get him involved in the game. If you want to be able to rely on him later on in the game, if you want him to
Mhm.
play defense and get blocks, and at
Mhm.
least he's not going to give you 100% of what you need, but maybe if the Bama give you
80.
75%,
Yeah.
it'll be enough to help yourself because you
Yeah.
can't rely on Durant and Booker to go out there and get you 45 every night, dog. That joint is, and Durant is like what 34, 35.
And busted Achilles too. Like,
Yeah, so you gotta play the passive aggressive games and just get the most that you can get out of him for this series because the Lakers don't have a big. If you can get out of this series and get away from Jokic, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna put him on
yeah.
AD. So
Nah.
so he could, but would they put him on AD?
They might. And they might.
And AD only played once every other game, so it's still you still be
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
better
yeah, yeah.
situation than. And he's also not a jump shooter. I just think the matchup fare more in Phoenix's favor,
Mhm.
getting past the series that they're currently in. If they can just get something out of this man to move on, I think he won't be as big of a liability going forward,
Mhm.
unless of course they play the 76.
Yeah. They plays, yeah, they get yeah. Yeah. Ah, yeah. That is we gonna see. We gonna see. Miami and New York, who gonna make it out of that jump? I mean, look like New York about
They
done.
cook. They cook. If Jimmy Butler plays, then they can't beat them, Barry.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler is just single handedly just willing his team to victory, dog. And a lot of other guys are stepping up. But like this is what I say about like sports all the time. When you have that guy on your team, it builds the confidence of everybody around him. Dog, the Bama Caleb Martin going to the lane, tomahawk jamming the jump like he, you know what I'm saying, J.R. Smith or somebody, like he only has that confidence when it comes from the alpha player on their team. Like, bro, we these Bama's don't want to see us, and they actually believe it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think Miami's going to run away with that, Joe. And unfortunately for the New York fans, because I mean, I know they were so psyched to see New York kind of be in the mix, but like, dog, it's just a lot to be desired with that team. And Brunson is a cooker. Brunson is a cooker, dog. I mean, I take nothing away from him. He getting buckets. Uh, Anthony Randall's a good player, but it's something missing, dog. I know what it is. I know what's missing. You know what's missing, Aaron? Leadership. They got Batmans who can play basketball, but they don't got nobody on the team that's like a leader.
Yeah, and I think it's still early for the Knicks too. Like this is the Knicks are much better than what they were. Like adding
Mm-hmm.
Brunson was a good move. Like the Bama's a cooker,
Mm-hmm.
but you're in the playoffs. You're playing against the best that's left in the NBA, and they're not in that top tier. They're just not, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay at this point in their and developing
Mm-hmm. That team.
that team and
Mm-hmm.
that part of their development. So they just Miami's a better team.
Yeah. Yeah. They are. Better coach too.
Yeah, because Tibbs
Um,
he don't Bama just be out there.
yeah, he just be yelling at Bama's dog. Follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. Share the content, subscribe. Shout out to Where's Buffy. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha. Shout out to Lance J. Shout out to Will, Daryl, everybody who rock with us heavy. We out.